Good time o'clock and happy honkings. I'm your host, Vulpi, and thank you for tuning in to another episode of Vulpi Snapshot Review, the show where I ramble on about unrelated things to stretch out information as much as I can to justify extra commercials. We've got a small snapshot to cover today, so we'll be fairly content light this time around. Let's begin, shall we? 20W18A came out this week on April 29th, 2020. This snapshot is incredibly feature and change light, but features a massive amount of bug fixes. It definitely seems that 1.16 will be coming out soon. 20W18A features a single new addition in the form of a new death message. This death message occurs when a player is killed by another player's crossbow-launched firework. The death message goes a little something like this. Journalistic standards went off with a bang due to a firework fired from Vulpi Snapshot Review by Vulpicula. That's all for the features. This update is about as small as my chances of ever getting governor. Onto the changes we go. A change to chain has changed the way chains chain. In normal speak, chains have been changed so they can now be placed underwater and waterlogged. This could allow for some cool decorations underwater, yes. Redstone dust has had some changes made to it as well. Single redstone wire is no longer a circular little pile of dust, but is instead a cross-like shape. Redstone dust on top of a block, which is redirected from below, will now power the sides it is redirected to. This fixes a bug where they used to only be directed visually and not actually power anything. A wire that is redirected to go over a block will now always provide power to that block. Hopefully these redstone changes are small enough to not break any MRT stations, otherwise the staff will have one hell of a job on them once we update. Oh, and the new target block is also capable of redirecting redstone wire. The debug screen now has a line on it detailing mob spawning. It now specifies how many chunks mobs can spawn in and how many mobs of each type are contributing to said group's mob cap. Hey, Vinny, there's too many mobs around here. The multiplayer screen now warns the general public about our stupid jokes and cautions players about third-party online play. It also features a long message about unmoderated chat messages and other types of non-PG user-generated content. I'm blaming all of you specifically for this. This would have never happened if we were a family-friendly community like 2B2T. Lastly, we've got some changes to world selection error messages. Nothing important here as none of you ever play single player, probably. And that's all for changes. Bug fixes next, and this is most definitely the most substantial part of the snapshot. 79 bug fixes were fixed this snapshot, most of them pertaining to 1.16. 12 of these bug fixes affect 1.15 and earlier, and I'll be going over the ones that haven't already been covered in changes. MC11211 was fixed, which prevented players from performing many right-click actions when targeting the top face of blocks placed in Y255. MC137366 was also fixed, which was an error involving inconsistent hitboxes with redstone dust. Lastly, MC166269 was abstained, which caused all wet wolves to become black for a second after shaking off water. The rest of the bug fixes, unfortunately, do not affect us. I'll be back after a short commercial break that'll probably be far more interesting than anything I've said in this episode so far. Afterwards, I'll get onto the only part you weirdos seem to care about, the community answers. I'll see you then.
penso che un sogno così non ritorni mai più. Mi dipingevo le mani e la faccia di blu. Poi d'improvviso venivo dal vento rapita e incominciavo a volare nel cielo infinito.
Oh yeah, we flying so high. All we see is blue sky. Oh yeah, we flying so high. All we see is blue sky. Oh yeah, we flying so high. All we see is blue sky. Oh yeah, we flying so high. All we see is blue.
Dipinta di blu.
Good day, I'm 0x10 in the MBS newsroom. Here's what's happening. The May GSM is this Saturday, May 9th at 7 p.m. GMT. The agenda so far is available in the GSM Agenda channel in Discord, and topic submission closes on Thursday. MBS will be broadcasting the GSM live in full. At the GSM, 4 moderator nominations and 2 premier candidate cities will be considered, as well as a proposal to remove the UCars plugin due to their reported adverse effect on traditional minecart lines, and 3 MRT line extension proposals. Airistrat is the winner of the Mole 10, and Mega Scatterbomb was revealed as the 10th Mole. MBS recorded the whole 10th season of the Mole, which will be uploaded to our channel later this month. The final ceremony of the MRT Vision Screenshot Contest is coming up this Friday, and all the votes are in to determine the placings. We'll be broadcasting that ceremony live. Activity remains high in the MRT as the coronavirus pandemic and its resulting lockdown measures continue. There are now over 3.5 million confirmed cases worldwide and nearly 250,000 deaths. A third of worldwide confirmed cases are in the United States, where many MRT members are located. Airplane 320 Summer Olympics are taking place this June in Titsonsaki and Hendon. They will be the 6th Olympic hosted by Airplane after the Parapotamia Olympics a few months ago. Menu F_Moj, previously known as Mojang-chan, is planning the Mojang Games to be hosted later this month, mostly in Deadbush and Vergestrand. MBS will be broadcasting the games live. And the MRT Golf Association hosted its Season 3 opener in CO Land over the weekend at its 72-hole Acacia Plains golf course. The tournament took place over 2 days and was won by LFPP003. The full event was broadcast live by MBN, the MRT Broadcasting Network.
I'm Kitty Catwoman 231. We've just received word that Major League Spleef has opened applications for its 2020 season. The commissioners are considering some sort of rule change to limit the duration of matches, according to Skelly Zomperman, but have not made any decisions other than that there will not be strict timed matches. MBS will be broadcasting this season of MLS. You can find the application form in the media channel in Discord.
That's the latest from MBS News. MBS will be releasing a new episode of Today from MBS News later this month, and you can follow us for more news at twitter.com/news_MBS. Reporting for MBS News in Central City, I'm 0x10. Now back to Vulpi Snapshot Review.
Welcome back. Before we get into the community responses, I'd like to say a little something. Many of you are suffering from loneliness during the pandemic, and this is no different for your elders who have been forced into self-isolation for their own safety. I would strongly suggest you give your elderly relatives a call if you have any, and I'm sure they'd appreciate the fact that you're thinking of them. Plus, you'll never know when you'll tell them I love you for the last time. Got a little heavy there. Let's change topics, but before I do, I hope you'll consider what I've suggested and do it if you're able to. Now, for the community responses. In case you forgot, last week's rather lengthy question was, do you think 1.16 will affect the server much once we update the server, and if so, what do you think the single most important feature or change is as far as the MRT is concerned, and why? This time around, we got 4 responses, and the first up is the Sugar-in-Chief, who submitted not 1, but 2 answers. Oh boy. I would hope so, he said. The single most important feature should be better performance, in theory. Maybe. Aside from that, the changes to walls and all the new blocks are going to be epic, and I don't think you'll need much of a reason for either of those. I agree with you there, and I think New Block speaks for itself in terms of impact. His second answer was a link to this video.
Chair, chair, chair. Chair, 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 chair. Chair, chair. Chair, 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 chair. Chair, chair, chair. Chair, 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 chair. Chair, chair.
Chief, get bent. Mojang, no, not that Mojang, when interviewed had the following to say. Yes, if optimization improves. I believe optimization itself is the single most important feature concerning the MRT, as it would 1. Improve the TPS by a fuckton, 2. It would make humongous world edits at least more bearable, and 3. Chunk lag would go ka-chow, making the experience a lot more enjoyable, he said before asking for a stack. Optimization would help everything, yes. Some of the changes made in 1.16 seem to be aimed at improving chunk tick and loading issues, so hopefully these do enough to make a noticeable difference. Next up, we've got So Puffball's response. I'd see black stone slabs replacing nether brick slabs in roads and chains being used with lanterns, but that's probably it. Maybe if we get snowier snow from the biome vote in this update too, we could decorate mountains and snow areas. I don't see that happening though, he said. Adding on to this, he also incorrectly stated, I am not a heretic and andesite roads can work as bike roads. That is exactly what a heretic would say. As for the response, I disagree. I think you've completely overlooked the potential of basalt, lodestone, and all those oddly coloured mushroom blocks. This is exactly the sort of incorrect opinion I would expect from a heretic. Last up, because I wasn't satisfied with the amount of responses, I threatened to delete Neon repeatedly until he cracked and gave the following answer. I don't have any insight on this, but I think Sunset Harbor is an excellent DLC for Cities Skylines. Alright, I'll take what I can get. You live for now. That is all for the community responses this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Should we be here next week for a snapshot, I'll have something real special lined up for the community section. This, unfortunately, means there'll be no question this week, though. Yeehaw. Thanks for watching, folks, and call your grandparents. Fox, out.